scan tool. Let's see here. Oops. Sorry, I'm struggling with technology here a little bit. All right. First question is from Kip Coons. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Roy. I wonder if you have any updates for us on a possible game this week.
Nope. I wish I did.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Hi, Roy. Just to follow on that, how actively are you guys, seeking to get a game, or how important is it to try and to get some kind of replacement? I saw a tweet from the Carolina basketball account openly asking, for to schedule a game, basically.
We're just seeing what is out there, CL. We've lost 3 home games. Don't necessarily see that there's going to be much of an opportunity to get those games back, and they're all 3 home conference games. So we would like to see if something will fit, and we're not going to see that sitting here in the office looking at each other and trying to talk ourselves into somebody else's situation. So we're just trying to see if there is any interest out there, and if there is, we'll look at it and see if it's something that would fit in with what we're doing. But again, we played 6 home games, and it's not a good situation. So we're just trying to see if we can find some more games to play here.
And just as a quick follow, how does it change? I mean, during the course of a normal ACC season, you're used to having like a week off between games, maybe once, but this will be the 3rd time, I believe, that it's happened to you guys. And how does it change how you approach your practices to try and, keep the guys engaged and focused on the actual opponent when all you're doing is playing against your own team?
Yeah, you have to be more creative in practice because practice should be work, trying to get better. You don't get better just laughing and sitting around. So we go to practice and we try to work, but it's only you can't practice 5, 6, 7 days in a row this time of year because you're also a little beat up because it's a long season. So there's plenty of adjustments, but just like I just heard the last part of Jimmy's talk, they're making a bunch of adjustments too because they've had so many guys hurt. But this is our 3rd, I guess it is 3rd cancellation. One of them we were the major factor in, so we can't say much about anything, but it's something it's not much. It's hard to get rhythm. It's hard to get into a routine. It's hard to get into what everybody's accustomed to. And with 7 of our top guys, freshmen, they don't have any idea what's going to happen from one to the next. And I had one of my guys, assistant AD, walk down at practice, and I went over just to say hello during the water break, and then turned around and started walking back over to the team, and they're worried about what I'm going to tell them. So it's unusual situations we're all in.
Brendan Marks, go ahead.
Hey, Roy. Yeah, I don't want to harp too much on this, but I'm just more worried about or concerned about the process of finding these. How much of this is Kendall? How much of it's Hoots? How much of it is you? Like, what is the mechanisms of how these sorts of conversations even come about behind the scenes?
It's none of the above that you're talking about. It's Clint Waltney, our assistant AD. There's no sense in having 10 people check with people. We're going through the athletic director's office, and Clint Waltney is our supervisor, and he's doing the work. If somebody calls somebody in our office, we're going to talk to them, and if we have a relationship with me, they'll probably ask for me. If they have a relationship with Eric or Sean or Hubert or Kendall or any of those, they'll probably, but nobody's going to make the decision except me. And I try to keep my staff up to date about what's going on, but it's Clint Waltney. And I met with Clint Waltney and Bubba Cunningham both this morning to make sure we're all on the same page.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, is this a situation where you would take a game from a team outside the conference or anybody that is willing and able to play this week?
We would like to play, and we'd like to play a home game. So that limits things. And guys, we've checked with probably 7 or 8 programs that are having problems with COVID or something themselves. It's first people we checked with is for years at Kansas and at North Carolina. We've tried to help the programs in our state by playing them, which gives them a little more attention, and we give them money. And so the first people we checked with were those people that we had to cancel the games because of the late start to the season. And now we're just being willing to talk to a lot of people, but it's not an easy situation because we've already got commitments for next year, and we're playing fewer home games than anybody in the country anyway. So we're trying to see what we can do, and it's an ongoing process. We thought we had a great idea this morning and make one phone call, and it didn't work. So you just move on to the next one.
Any other questions for Roy? Michelle Kaufman, go ahead.
I can't hear anything. If somebody...
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Roy, I just want to ask you, you touched on it earlier just about how difficult it is to get in a rhythm, especially with young players and relying on so many freshmen. Can you talk about, do you think that that's one of the reasons that a lot of the traditional powerhouse programs like yours and, Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, had some struggles this season that you normally don't have? Do you think that some people said it was lack of home court advantage, that the aura in those buildings is not what it is in a regular season this year? Or do you think it's more that those type of teams rely more on young players and freshmen, and it's a really hard season this year with so little non-conference summer, mixed up schedules? So, do you think it's just a coincidence, or are there reasons that that's happening?
Michelle, I can't speak too much for the other programs, except you still have a home court advantage. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the numbers. Just look at the numbers. Last week at one time, the ACC had the second highest home court winning percentage in history of the league. You get to shoot at your baskets that you look at all the time with the backdrop that you have all the time. And so I think there still is a home court advantage. But other than that, it's probably all of the reasons above. And again, I don't want to speak to other people's situations, but when you have young players and they go through a summer of you doing a few things, when they go through a fall, whether it's North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, whoever you want to put in there, they go through in the fall of playing pickups with some of your former players who are NBA guys, and they get some guidance there. And then you start the season and you play some games before you just immediately jump into conference play. You play an exhibition, you play a scrimmage. Freshmen benefit from all of those scrimmages, exhibitions, pickup games, summertime. Freshmen benefit from that more than anybody else. But again, I think it's a little bit of all of those options that you gave, but I don't believe that there is a quote non-factor of home games just because there's people out there. I mean, why is it that they're winning in the ACC at one point 70% of the games? I mean, there is an advantage playing at home because you get used to sleeping in your own bed, eating your own food, shooting at the same baskets. And so I think that there is still an advantage there, still a great advantage, But I think all of your other scenarios there really are an advantage. And there is something that they hear about. Oh, you play this game on Wednesday and you got to turn around and another one on Saturday, and then a big game on Wednesday and you got to realize, oh my gosh, I got another one Saturday. They prepared for that because they hear people talk about it. And then all of a sudden, 3 different times during the course of your season for us, and there's been a lot of programs worse than us, that all of a sudden you lose a game, and that has not happened in the past. So that part is difficult, and it's just not something what the kids were expecting. And now, several teams around our league have a lot of injuries. And now if a guy starts sneezing, you put him on pause until you can get 2 more tests just because you heard him sneeze. So it's difficult times.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Roy, that's all the time that I have for you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.